Have you ever wondered how sound can heal, inspire, and transform your life? What if the vibrations around you could unlock your true potential and guide you to a deeper sense of harmony? Welcome to Sound Pathways, the groundbreaking journey into the healing power of sound, creativity, and connection. With your host, Dr. Karen Olson. In each episode, she explores the profound link between your mind, body, and spirit, from composers and musicians, sound healers and visionary leaders. She'll dive into captivating conversations that reveal how sound shapes your reality, heals our wounds, and helps us manifest our dreams. And guess what? You're part of the conversation. So call in and ask questions and experience personalized sound healing live. Let your sound be your guide to the life you've always dreamed of.
Hello! I am so excited to be here with you tonight. I want to start out by asking you to relax, and if you'd be comfortable, close your eyes, and I want you to listen, and I want you to feel. Feel the vibrations inside of you. We're all instruments, our bodies, our energy, and our emotions. We vibrate in response to the world around us. But just like in music, sometimes we have to improvise. When life surprises us, we may need to shift, but we can still stay connected to our path, and we can adjust, but we don't lose sight of our goal. Tonight, we're going to be talking about music and energy and rising higher and living our dreams. And welcome to the very first episode of Sound Pathways. I'm Karen Olson, and I'm so honored to have you with us tonight. We're going to be exploring the power of sound, how music, vibration, and energy shape our minds, body, and spirit and connect us. Sound is a lot more about what we feel, not just what we hear. Something that moves through us. Something that communicates and can even heal us at the deepest levels. For as long as I can remember, music has been a part of my life. Actually, I was around 13 years old when I was introduced to the viola, and it just became a part of me, and it's been on my path, and it's been so meaningful. It's taken me around the world, and it's also comforted me. I've had a deep spiritual connection from a really young age, and as I've had many challenges in my life, I expanded and I explored more and more, and I learned more healing modalities and more energy modalities, and I connected to my own intuitive abilities and learned that I can combine it with the music, and it's something that I love to share because it can really help everyone. So here we are, and it's just been an amazing gift to me. I can tell you more about myself, and you can read my bios, but I really love to record. It was when I discovered improvisation, when I connected to who I am, and I had a voice that I was able to step into my power. I never had that when I was younger, and we'll talk about that later, some of the voices that we have that we identify with. And then they become our identity, and it might feel real, but it's not true. So it's just having that ability to explore at that subconscious level and being able to shift it. This has become my passion, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to share all these concepts of transformation, because we don't have to just stay in one place. We don't have to be stuck. And I love the concept about creativity, because of course I'm very creative, which has its pluses and minuses, but it's really a gift. And one thing, I think everybody's very creative. And when we want to move forward in our life, and when we want to achieve dreams, and when we want to change, when we don't want to be stuck, it's kind of about being creative. Creating that, seeing it, having that vision. seeing all the steps to it and just knowing that you can live it. So there's just so many gifts. And the whole aspect of healing is about time, the past, present, and future being one, all of us being connected with all that is and the energy of creation. That's what gives us our power and our miracles. So much hope and so much joy. So that's what I want to really talk about. We're going to have many guests with musicians and healers, different creators, and also I will be giving some live sound healings. I connect up with creators' energy, and I'm intuitive, and I'm able to channel music that speaks to the subconscious part in your brain where things might be stored that block you, and it shifts us because our brain has neuroplasticity, which means that it's not just stuck. It can change and have new pathways, new connections. And this gives us so much freedom. So learning how to improvise, learning how to pivot, it's been something that I have been experiencing even just today because our guest, Vito, is not able to be with us. He has gotten sick and he couldn't even be able to speak. So I know that he's with us in spirit, and I want us all to send him healing energy and healing energy to everybody who has anything that they're challenged by with their health. And one of the things that he says or has been said about him is that he's a sound painter. So I asked him if he could give us that perspective. And he wrote to me and he said, it's about using all the colors and even colors from different genres, which means new age, classical, global, to not just stick in one lane, but just imagine all the colors. And he likens it to having a block of marble and you chip away and it starts to create some kind of form, some kind of figure, and you keep chipping away. And then it starts to look like a recognizable image. And then you fine tune it, you polish it, you transform it into art. But he didn't like the way sound sculpture sounded, so he sticks with sound painter. And I think that can apply to all of us when we want something. We know we want this, and we might think we know exactly how it's supposed to be. But if we take what is and we just start chipping away, doing it this way, maybe it's that way, maybe it would look like this, or maybe it would look like that, and just taking all the input and just imagining it and just seeing what's there. And then we see what's there, then we can kind of form it and move it a little bit. So it's the combination of really working with what we have and then discovering what it really is and then creating it just a little bit more. We can't create exactly what we want from nothing. We start somewhere. We start with something, and then we can mold it and shift it. And it's just a process of discovery. It could be the sculpting or painting or vibrations, any kind of energy. And we trust the process as we're chiseling and refining. And we create something wonderful. And it's so exciting when we create something that we can share. Because when we can share it, it's full circle. It gives it the most meaning. It's something that we can really appreciate ourselves when we've been able to be the one discovering this. But it's so much more meaningful, and actually a work of art takes on its own identity. They say with an album it has its own wings, and it just kind of goes because it's how it's accepted, how it's heard, how people respond to it, and where it goes. I mean, we can shape it. We can kind of try to send it in a certain direction, but then it really is how it's received. And there's a certain amount of detachment. If we create something, it was the journey, it was the process, it was the growth. For me, it's very therapeutic. I've been able to create 9 albums, and 5 of them were, 5 tracks were on the Billboard Top 10 charts, in different genres, and there's been some awards, and all that's really fun. But it's really about that process, the process of growth and the process of letting go. And it's right there for everybody, forever. The people that do want to appreciate it whenever it is. And when I create albums, I really tap into the energy from above and people's guides and angels, that whenever they listen, the power of what they need is sent to right where they need it. And that has been a really beautiful thing for me to witness, miracles that people have had from listening to my album. So art is living. It's a part of who we are. So here we are, just discovering more and more things. I have a album and a piece that means a lot to me. They all do, but one is called Sound Path. And I've created it, well, the book is called Sound Path, Using the Power of Sound and Silence for Health, Harmony, and Happiness. And it has a whole method that I've used with steps that I find really helpful. It's about serenity and strings. Of course, I'm attached to strings and the vibrations of the strings and the strings connecting us through our hearts. And then I created an album, Song Path, that corresponds with the 7 steps, the different tracks, and a few extras. And I'd like to play for you a track from that album called Serenity. It is about letting go and being in that place of peace and of surrender and being in the moment. I'd like to ask you to take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it, expand it out through your mouth with a sigh, pause. And I'd like to ask you to do that a few times. And feel the sound within you. thank you. I was a little challenged hearing the track and all that, but I always love playing. Okay, so today I would like to talk a little bit about the chakras. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that terminology. It's about our energy, and it can be organized. It has been organized into these 7 chakras that corresponds with parts in our body, and it's these cones of energy that are kind of swirling. And when people do energy work, different healers, different types of modalities, one of the goals is that all the chakras are open and spinning, and they're all balanced. Because if one of them is blocked, then it makes that area in our life a little stuck and harder to deal with. So it's just an interesting way of looking at our life and all those invisible things, the vibrations, and all those things about it. So we're going to start with the root chakra. That's called the first chakra. It's kind of at the bottom of our spine, and it helps us to think about being grounded, about being connected to the core of the earth. It's about our sense of security, about survival and belonging. And when we're not really in balance, it can make us feel a little anxious, a little disconnected, or kind of stuck in fear-based things that just don't help us out. And when we're balanced, we feel safe and present and really deeply connected to life. Another theme of the first chakra is ancestral. So it holds our stories and beliefs and patterns passed down through generations, and the ones that we experienced it as a child. And through the sound, we can release these old blocks and step into this place of trust and flow. So I would love to invite people to call in for a healing, and we're going to just talk a little bit about what area you might want to release, any blocks or something that's struggling, but repeated struggles in your life. You just know that isn't what you want. You try to steer away from that, but somehow that's what happens, and you don't know why. And that's what we can look at and release through the energy. I'm able to channel and help the energy move to those places. So I was wondering if someone would like to release some of their stored tensions or old subconscious patterns. Excuse me. And also, when it's kind of focused on a person, it's really collective. It's for everybody, because we're all here together. If it's at this moment, or if you're listening in the future, many of our patterns are shared. So it's really for everybody. And please make any comments in the chat. And there is a phone number in the chat for you to call in. 888-627-6008. I have a person that asked for me to give a sound healing to them. I'd like to start with that. And her name is Rachel. She wanted me to use her name, Rachel Schenker. And she is an amazing musician. And her request was that she struggles, and once again, time is all one, so she was receiving this healing. She can be feeling really overwhelmed by what's going on in the world, by negativity, and it's hard for her to separate. And sometimes that can be related to some fear we had as a child. Maybe there was something going on that as a child we felt responsible for it, and we just absorbed it all, and we felt really powerless. And all the time actually, the chaos that was going on was more related to maybe past things for our parents or for whatever it was. But sometimes we identified with it, and then, as I said, it becomes our identity, and it feels real, but it isn't true. So those are the things that we can look at to release those fears, because usually whatever is appearing now in our lives has some connection to some feeling from our past. Because sometimes even when it wasn't positive, it becomes our definition of love and who we are, and that's what we seek. Even if it doesn't make any sense, it usually doesn't make any sense. But we know that we don't really need that anymore because it's just not helping us out. So I am going to focus on releasing that, and also the help when we can separate ourselves from other people's energy and really own what's ours and our own truth. I've always loved the serenity prayer that helps us separate the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It just can apply to so many things. Like, what is there in our mind, in our attitude, in our approach, and what we're doing? What can we change? Sometimes it can be a lot of things. And it feels good to be able to really focus on something that we do have control over, because when we're trying to change somebody else or change the way something is or this or that, it becomes not just overwhelming, it can almost become addictive, which is really when we try to change something that we're not able to change. So we just try harder because we believe we need to change that thing, and then we just need to keep trying harder, and it just gets us in a little spiral there. And sometimes we're the only ones that can't see that it isn't working out too well. So that's the type of patterns we're releasing with the sound and the vibrations through our hearts and connecting above.
Do you have a caller?
Oh, great. Okay. I would love to help. Well, it is my intention for my heart. Pauline, thank you so much for calling in.
Welcome to the BS family. I was waiting for you to come on sometime. I thought maybe today. I thought maybe today.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. We were having some little learning issues going on there, but appreciate your patience.
Yeah. There's like a double effect of some sort, like a double effect of some sort that make the request. And I did not know that the ancestral stuff was in the first chakra.
Yes.
And that was about unlearning and not loving yourself and kind of a thing. Programs from other lifetimes, or something.
Yeah, and oftentimes
be the best me.
Yeah, oftentimes those ancestral things are repeated in this lifetime, and they're related to the past and past things, and they really aren't about us. And it's hard to know that difference, especially when we're young, and so it kind of becomes part of our patterning without knowing it. So that's what's really beautiful, that we have that ability to release that and see who we are and change.
Are you studying other chakras besides the first?
I believe that all the chakras are interrelated, so there's some aspect of the first chakra in all the chakras and vice versa. So the second chakra...
I'm talking about like ancestral sexual stuff.
Yeah, well, the sexual
I was going to ask
things...
the first chakra, but I think the second one, the creating from that's another area.
Yeah, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the chakras, but the second one is the sacral chakra, and that has to do with sexuality and creativity. And then the third chakra has to do with our solar plexus and our identity as ourselves. The fourth is our heart.
I think we need the lower three, ancestral. I think that's the one that's blocking a lot of us. So that once we get past that, we're in our heart and the higher chakras, it should be much better at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Because when we're blocked, it's hard to be free to love, and it's difficult to be free to speak our truth and be who we are, and to be able to really be intuitive and listen and to connect above. Everything gets a little more difficult when we have those blocks. So it's really beautiful that we don't have to be stuck with them. In your life, is there something that you'd like to release? Some pattern you've noticed?
I'm actually, that's what I'm working on. I have a labyrinth I walk that works on the three chakras, but since I did not know ancestrals involved in all of them, possibly, then I'm going to start focusing when I walk my labyrinth about that, in case you can't. But I like that you do the sound part, so I would love to, whatever you feel would help.
Yeah, is there any aspect of the ancestral that comes up for you that you
with me, it's probably the women, the feminine side that's got a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual stuff. And I think the creativity part is biggest blockage.
Did you feel that you were fully supported as a child and that you were really given all the
not seen her either. I still hear the female.
I know that one. Yeah, so then it makes you feel like you shouldn't even, that you don't even exist almost, except to reflect others.
That also probably is for the man who has a feminine side that doesn't not allowed to express that emotion and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and we were created here with missions and paths, and then we have our dreams, and we just want to walk into that fully. Embrace it fully so we can feel free and just experience that joy, and then that's what we can share more of, and the more we share, the more we receive. So it's really kind of cycles. It's movement. It's just not being.
I don't know. They're all important. 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Whatever you. I think maybe do the first because that's the one that everybody has probably for sure.
Yeah. Beautiful. So I would love to do that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I just tried to make myself a little. Okay. Beautiful. So can you get comfortable wherever you are? Relax, lie down, or sit back and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths through your nose, and always pause and then release through your mouth. And I have your permission. Do I have your permission to scan and to channel music for you?
Sure. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? I said yes.
I just lost
Thank you for
the
permission.
ability to hear you. But I think I heard you say yes. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It means a lot.
We cannot hear anything.
Oh, really? I thought I took myself off the speaker when I was talking.
Yeah, no, we do not hear the host. Just
oh no, now we lost her. Oh well, I don't have to stay on.
I know.
But,
Okay.
you know.
Thank you for calling in. Appreciate you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Really? Really? Oh. You didn't hear you didn't hear my playing. Oh my god. My playing. Oh my gosh. That's something. Gosh. That's something. Wow. Wow. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're able to hear. You're able to hear this now. Hear this now. Oops, can you still Oops, can you still hear me? Still hear me? Uh-oh. And that's uh-oh. And that's good. You can hear that. I'm glad if you could hear me. I'm glad if you could hear me speak. I would like to play again, but I am going to first it. I would like to, oh, I would like to do something connecting you. Feel roots coming to walking, feeling each step, connecting us to the core of the earth. Feel this connected to your heart. Anything that doesn't serve you, those things that get in your way, the things that make you feel bad, you don't even need them. Just let them go as you connect to your truth and your freedom.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we cannot hear you. We
Okay.
cannot hear that music playing. We hear you, but for some reason it just the times we do, and then the
Anywhere that you can listen to music. So I would really love for you to go and listen to some of my music, and you will be able to hear it. And I end with a great thank you for being with me and just sending you energy to release any fears and just own who you are. City. So it's really going to be fun to speak to her about her creative process, which is pretty intense. And it'll be just really exciting. So until then, I'm
with your highest self. For more insights, resources, and to continue your